You're listening to Triple L, the Live, Love, Lotus show on the #1 positive talk station, Transformation Talk Radio. I'm so excited to launch the Mind, Body, Soul 7D Energy Healing Program as a part of the Sacred Path. If you've been desiring relief from your stress and your life's obstacles, if you're overwhelmed with it all and what you've tried either hasn't worked or is no longer working, a 7D healing session with me will help facilitate the breakthrough that you're searching for. I've created a powerful healing session that includes 7D energy healing, crystal healing, and sound healing for a one-of-a-kind experience that produces amazing results. You will feel the difference after one session. Your breakthrough is within you, and now there's a new beautiful way to claim it with divine feminine source energy healing for your mind, body, and soul. Private one-on-one sessions are now available. To schedule your 7D energy healing session with me, go to thesacredpath11.com/7D healing or click the link in the description below to book your session today. Your breakthrough awaits. Are you living life, or is life living you? The answer lies in the divine love, healing, and wisdom within you. Welcome to Triple L, the Live, Love, Lotus show, your podcast to help you consciously create your most incredible life. I'm TLotus, Minister of Spiritual Metaphysics, 7D intuitive healer, Master Lenormand reader, and your host. I've learned how to tap into the power within myself to transform my life, and my divine mission is to help you do the same. Join me every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time as we explore the wonder that is the magnificence of your power and your light. We'll talk about how to deepen your spiritual wellness and work with universal energy to heal and align your mind, body, and soul. And I'll help you to connect to the answers you seek with spiritual Lenormand readings to guide you along your sacred path. It's time to tap into your magnificence. Are you ready to vibrate higher? Get ready to live, love, Lotus. Let's go. Hello, powerful manifestors. Welcome to Triple L. Happy Tuesday. I hope you are having a beautiful morning. We are back with an amazing show today, and I have been waiting. But before I let you know who is with us, we normally do our good morning gratitude first thing before we get going. But I'm going to save the good morning gratitude for last because the person that I have with me today, she needs to come first. So we have with us a wonderful person by the name of Christina Rice. She is an earth angel, and she is the founder of the Ahai 7D mentorship program and the founder of Ahai 7D. Now, Christina Rice is a trance channel, and she'll explain to us what that is, but let me tell you, it's cool. It's so, so cool. She's a spiritual business mentor, and she is an Ahai 7D energy healing master, sharing her expansive messages from a number of ascended masters and guides to help people raise their frequency and tap into their intuition and psychic gifts and manifest their dreams. Christina has coached thousands of individuals in spiritual growth, business development, brain rewiring, and optimizing their wellness. Christina is also the host of the Christina Channel podcast, running 5 years, going strong, and she's been featured in so many publications: Forbes, Entrepreneur, Pop Sugar, Delish, and so much more. This woman has turned her spiritual energy healing business into a 7-figure business by the age of 25, and this woman is 26. That amazes me. Please welcome Christina Rice, aka Christina the Channel. Welcome, Christina. Girl,
Hello.
that part wasn't in there. You have um taken you're a light worker that has taken your business and girl it blew up. It blew up, and that's what needs to be in there. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for I'm so excited. I don't even know where to start. How are you, Christina?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. You always make my day with your energy, so I'm just excited for this conversation. Yeah, I'm amazing. I'm just grateful to be here. So thank you for having me.
I'm thank you for being here. Again, I've been talking about you because you know my story. You know what I've been through all year, and you know, Ahai 7D. I accredit Ahai 7D for pulling me out of the deepest of the deep. TLotus, the lotus flower, needs muddy waters to grow, and I call the muddy waters. Um, I call the grief, the problems, the low vibration in our lives, the muddy waters of our lives. And I was at the deepest. And we're gonna get into how I connected with you. But first, I want to ask, how did you get into light work?
Mm.
And what led you to start the Ahai 70 mentorship program?
Yeah, well, it wasn't really a
Booyah!
choice, Well, so the gist of it is, I was very intuitive as a child, as many are, and then kind of turned my gifts off at a younger age and kind of forgot about that whole aspect of me and really suppressed it. And then I found myself in college, I came down with chronic illness. I had multiple autoimmune diseases. I almost died from those, and it was a really, really dark part of my life. And after that, I went on this healing trajectory. And I started with the holistic health path. I really was looking into nutrition and lifestyle practices. One thing led to another, and I became more and more spiritual through the process. And in the ups and downs of healing from my chronic illness, I hit a point where I was just, I was open to anything. You could have told me to like rub grapefruit all over my body for the rest of my life, and I would have done it. I would do anything to heal. And my functional medicine doctor at the time had started recommending people go to, different energy healers. And I thought, you know what? And I was very much a science person, right? Like
Mm,
quote unquote science, as if they're separate. I wasn't really that into it. I wasn't against it, like all the spiritual stuff, but I wasn't really into it. And I thought, well, I'll try anything. So I went off of his recommendation and I saw an intuitive in Los Angeles, which is where I was living at the time. And she was incredible. And that 90 minutes totally changed my life. And every single thing she said came true, like to the date. It was very incredible. One of the most talented intuitives I've ever come across. And after that, it was like my whole life trajectory kind of started changing. And she told me in that session, she looked at me, I mean, so deeply, it was like she could see into my soul, right? And she just started crying. And I was like, what's wrong? And she said, you're here to do this. And I said, do what? And she said, like what I'm doing. You're here to do spiritual work. You're here to be an intuitive. And at the time I was just like, thinking, I'm like, okay, that's sweet, but no, I don't care about this. I'm like, at the time I'm like obsessed with food and nutrition and all this. And, then my life just started changing. And I had a dream one night from an angel that I could not deny how clearly it came through. And she said, you need to study Reiki. And so I thought, wow, well, that was clear. Might as well. So I bought a Reiki book. And then I took some online training that honestly, I didn't really feel like did anything. And then I was referred to somebody who I thought was doing feng shui in my house. And she comes in and she says, into my house or my apartment. And she says, oh, are you studying Reiki? And I said, well, I think so. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to learn this. And she said, well, I'm a Reiki master. And in that moment, I was just like, oh, I
I
think
love how
you're the
it all
one.
aligns. Like it's like you're
Yeah.
supposed to do this. Universe said, "Open door, open door, open door, open door."
Yeah. it was just one thing led to the other. And so she ended up becoming my first spiritual mentor, and I studied with her for about 8 months. It was, she really took me into just a really, really great, well-rounded training. It wasn't just like your normal weekend workshop. And I
Mhm.
really appreciated that. And she taught me so much. She's incredible. And so I started incorporating energy healing, into my life, and I was starting to actually notice a difference in my physical body, and it was helping me so much in just so many different areas of my life, physically, mentally, emotionally. Overall, I was manifesting more quickly, and so I started incorporating that work. Then later with my clients, I was working with a number of clients who were struggling with autoimmune chronic illness from a nutritional standpoint, because I had gone to school to be a nutritional therapy practitioner. And so I started incorporating my Reiki into into my work with clients who wanted that, obviously. And it was just incredible what I was seeing, the transformation I was seeing once we started to add in energy healing, and people who, like me, hadn't been able to heal, and they've tried all of the protocols, all the different doctors, and finally they're starting to make progress. And so I just, I really became a believer. And through that process of just working with so many people, my intuition was just opening up more and more and more. And my energy healing practice, it's funny because I had like my blog and my podcast and my more online nutrition practice, but I had this whole in-person energy healing practice that I never advertised, but I was always super booked up out the door. And I was like, I'm not even focusing on this. Why is this always so busy? But I met incredible people. It was so much fun, and I just loved it. So that was kind of something I was always doing on the side. And then, things really started to shift when we were approaching when quarantine hit, honestly. And I think for a lot of people, that was a very pivotal time,
Mhm.
in different ways. And, for me, one of the things was, I was knocked on my butt in a number of ways. And one of those was a lot more of my gifts just kind of intensely opened up, and it was something that I couldn't just keep on the side anymore. It was
Mhm.
something that very clearly needed to be at the forefront, and I wasn't going to be able to avoid it. It was starting to,
I know
very
how that
strong.
goes.
Yeah, I was had very strong boundaries, and it was coming through, and that's what I'm here to do. And it was just very mission driven. And so I've been working with energy healing for a while, and I started to have some issues popping up with my body again. And I started to realize that what I needed was a stronger hit of energy. And a lot of the Reiki I had been doing before just wasn't, it was like my body became tolerant to it,
Mhm.
almost,
Mhm.
and it wasn't really doing much. And I started to notice with different healers that I would work with, certain people just had a very potent energy. And whenever I could feel the intensity of the energy, it was like my body responded very well. And so in talking to my guides, they were like, you need a much higher frequency. And so I was kind of on that path and just exploring this for myself. And then it was Lionsgate of 2020, and my guide said, hey, your big channeling session tonight, like set it up, make the vibe, set up the
Now
oils,
that
the
I'm
candles.
attuned and certified,
Yeah.
now it's like I call it charged up.
Hmm.
It's like yeah, it's time to
Yeah.
charge up. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
totally. Right. And I was like, great, let's do this. Right. So I was all pumped, and, I didn't really know. I thought I was just gonna, cause I'll just channel for fun and just, see what messages there are. And it's not what I expected at all. And I was, surrounded by, I'm clairvoyant, right? So I see this very, very visually, all of these light beings and angels and different ascended masters, and um just pure light. And I literally feel like, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it other than I felt like I was in heaven, floating, levitating, didn't know where I was. And I had this attunement and had basically this energy technology placed into me and attuned my body to this. And then I was basically told that, this is a new form of energy healing that I'm being attuned to. It works at the seventh dimension. So it's going to be more potent, stronger. It's an upgrade that people need at this time, because a lot of the, just the old frequencies we've been working with aren't necessarily moving the needle anymore for people
Mhm.
whose frequencies are raising, right? And that's part of the process in this planet. So this energy was coming down to help people with healing, to help put things back into balance that had gotten back into balance, to be calibrated to higher frequency bodies, to help with the activations, to help with the transitions, all of that. And so, I got all my all my info and I'm channeling and I'm getting this intense attunement, and you know how it feels. It's like you're vibrating. I'm processing
Yes,
this,
me,
you
I
know.
get it here. I
Yeah.
feel it. It's really warm. I feel it right
Mm,
here. And
yeah.
not even when I'm not charged up, like right now, you and I are talking. And I
Mhm.
guess because we're both attuned, or I don't know what it is. Well, spirit's here too. I
Yeah, you feel the
definitely feel,
energy.
I still feel it, but I feel it right here. So it's
Yeah.
so amazing. Y'all, this is amazing stuff. We're going to get into Ahai 7D and how it helped your life. I want to share how it's helped mine. But I want to talk a little bit about the channeling. Melanie Keller, who is also an Ahai 7D um, uh, attuned practitioner. Um, Basically, February, I was in the deepest of the deep, right? My son passed away on New Year's Day. I was in the deepest depression I could ever feel. And honestly, on a spiritual level, I was like, I want to go to Earthbound Realm. I want to go, do something. And Spirit was like, no, that's not what you need. And Melanie kept saying, you need to follow Christina the Channel.
Oh.
And so I saw your IG. I was like, oh, she's beautiful. But like
Oh.
she a baby. What she know? And I followed you. And that was kind of the end of that. But your name, your posts after I followed you just kept showing up and you kept saying things that resonated with me. And then the window of the training, the mentorship, your mentorship program was closing. It was open and then was slowly closing. And Spirit was like, well, honestly, Carrie, my son Carrie, the number 22, I told you why, was like, no, this is what you need to do. But what fascinated me about you before I said yes was your channeling. So how did that get started? And
Mm.
before you say how, could you please explain what channeling is for any of us, for any of the viewers or listeners who don't understand what channeling is?
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that, and I'm so glad that spirit led led you to
That's why
me.
when it's meant when it's for you, um, the door is open and everything else blocks you from deviating from that. And it's like,
100%.
nope, this. I was like, I'll do it next time when it comes back around. Nope, now.
Yeah.
I know how that is.
Yeah. I love it. Well, so channeling has, I think there are a few different definitions, and we can start with the broader form of channeling, which, I think of channeling in the broadest sense as just whenever you're in that flow state and it's like you don't even have to think about what you're doing, it's just coming through you. So you can think about a speaker on a stage and they might feel like they blacked out and they are speaking so eloquently, articulately, and they're just in the flow and they're like, I don't even know what just came out of me, but there it
Mm-hmm.
was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can think
Mm-hmm.
about uh, uh, a singer, a songwriter, playing their music, or you can think about, Michael Jordan playing basketball, like somebody who's just in their flow state, right? It's sources moving through them. You don't even know how
Mm-hmm.
it's coming out. It's coming out.
You
So
know what that reminds me of? You
yeah,
saw the movie Soul, of course. The
yes,
movie Soul, which means the world to me because of the number 22. But what it reminds me of is the zone.
yes.
When they were in the zone and they were all, in their own thing. That's
Mhm.
that's what was happening. That's what happens with you.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And so I think, everybody channels just in different ways. In the more spiritual sense, channeling, a lot of people use this term to refer to communicating with spirits, with non-physical entities. So in a sense, if I'm tapping in and communicating with a loved one who's transitioned, or communicating with a spirit guide or an ascended master,
Mhm.
the angels, I'm channeling that information, right? It's coming down from spirit through me. And then there are different types of channeling, right? So one form of channeling that I do is trance channeling, and the way that works is I'm basically in a trance-like state. So I give permission for the being to use my voice, and I feel the energy kind of move through me, coming through me, and I sound a little bit different. If you listen to me, you probably can tell, like, I sound a little bit different. They are, I'm letting them use my voice, and it's kind of filtered through my language, right? So
Mhm.
through my vocabulary, but it's, it doesn't sound exactly like me. They don't talk exactly like me. And for me, it's just really letting that flow through me. So almost like giving them vocal cords for a moment instead of me being the translator. It's more direct, right? So that's how I trance channel. But there are many different forms of channeling, and I think of it in a spiritual sense really as getting receiving information from non-physical entities is how I'll say it.
Yeah, yeah. I I've seen channelers trans channelers before. Never one as you radiate this beautiful light, and so
Oh, thank
you're
you.
fascinating to watch. Um and once I became, because they're in your program, in your Ahai 70 program, there is a level 1 and a level 2. And we'll talk a little bit about what those levels are. But once I was attuned to level 1, all of a sudden, and I am clairaudient. I've
Yeah.
always been clairaudient, and I've always had two main spirit guides. And the second spirit guide she didn't join me. And there's a masculine and feminine. She didn't join me until like a couple years ago. And my other spirit guide has been with me since the age of 9. And I didn't know that this whole time I was channeling. That was when I would receive messages and blurt them out, which I still do. I blurt out shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Same.
and I'm like, oh, that's not too well, that's my close friends, they know, and they're like, okay, that's spirit. Um, but what I find myself doing now is I'm channeling automatic writing. And I find once I am charged up and I tune in and I just allow spirit to just move that hand, and it's amazing the things that have come through.
Yeah.
Um, so you channel many different ascended masters. um I'm not even gonna go down the whole list. I wish I could just scroll the list that, while we're talking, which I might scroll the list. I know. Can you name some of them? I don't want to name, because I might name a wrong one, but can you tell me? Tell
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
So some of the beings I channel most often, the goddess Isis, goddess, well, actually, I'll say Sisters of Light. There's a group of beings called Sisters of Light. I'll channel Serapis Bey, Sanat Kumara, Aphrodite, Athena, Arachne.
And
I work with, yeah.
check. We're going to make sure that everyone knows how to. By the way, follow Christina. Do you change your name so often on IG? Is it Christina the Channel?
Yeah, it's Christina
Just
the
type in
Channel.
Christina the Channel on IG, you guys. But we're going to make sure we have all of her information, how to follow her, how to contact her below. But if you have some of your videos on your IG, so I've watched each and every one of them. They're all they're all amazing,
Thank
and
you.
messages that resonate, and it's like just absolutely amazing. And you have inspired me to open myself up more to channeling. Now I haven't trance channeled, but I am open more to allowing spirit to use me in various ways, through my voice, or usually it's through my voice, because I will hear it and I'll blurt it out, or I'll say it. Through writing, perhaps I'll write a channeled book. I don't know, but you need to know. Excuse me. You need to know, Christina, that you have inspired me.
Oh,
This
I'm
is a
so glad.
beautiful thing, because in my journey this year, in this grief journey that I've been on, this healing journey that I've been on, um, I, a lot of people have crossed my path because those doors, right? Um, and was like I needed the high, and then once a high happened, then oh my gosh, all these doors open, and all these mentors and people and high vibrational people happened. And so we're going to talk a little bit um, about energy healing and the world and the life of an energy healer. Now, you do way more than just energy healing, but for the longest time, I believe, was energy healing like your main thing before? Because
It was
you're a coach,
actually
you're a mentor, you're all these things.
yeah, it was actually never my main thing, interestingly enough. It was kind of always like the side thing it was something that I used within everything I do, right? So I
Mhm.
always incorporate energy work and I'm always channeling, everything I've ever created, I've channeled. So um I'm always using that, but I was never just doing energy work. It was always with something else. So I've been doing it for a while, but it was never my only thing. And so, I've been coaching for a really long time and in different capacities. So it started off, as I had mentioned before, working as a nutritional therapy practitioner and a health coach, and then doing more of the brain rewiring coaching. And, I've run some different certification programs. And as my business grew, I started doing more business coaching for different healers. And I think this is really, really important now because, there are just so many incredible healers and we need you, right? The world needs you. The world needs your light. And a lot of people they just need some support, showing that to the world, right? And reaching
Mhm.
the people that they're meant to reach. And so supporting spiritual entrepreneurs is really important to me. I think it's really important. And then I also run another business called the Podcast Connector. So I've been working in podcasting for a while. So I have that business as well. So we have a bit going on, and I have, my business is expanding now. I actually have a book coming out in January. So we've been working on the
Yay, and
book.
you shall
Yeah.
come back in January so we can pump
Amazing.
that baby up.
Yeah.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I've been coaching for a while and I incorporate the energy work into everything I do.
Mhm.
And I've just seen it expand people in so many ways, right? Whether that is with their health, with their businesses, with their relationships. And when we shift ourselves energetically, I mean, this is how we effortlessly attract in what we desire, right? Because it's all rooted in energy blocks. You want to talk about getting to the root cause, it's all energy within us that we can shift and move. And sometimes we're just blocked energetically. And for me, it's just incredible to see how it depends on the person, but how many times in one session somebody's life changes. And that
Mhm.
that is that is beautiful to me. And just to see what we can do when we're just clear energetically, what we're capable of, that's just really incredible.
It is. Now, I am launching the Mind Body Soul 7D healing program
And there we go.
powered by Ahai 7D. And I have worked with many people, um, and I've gotten so many amazing, amazing, amazing testimonials. And but let me back up because before I even started your mentorship program, I just wanted to experience what it felt like. What is this thing I'm about to do? And I'm gonna tell you the healing sessions. Christina has drop-in healing sessions every month, and we'll put that information as well. We're gonna make sure everybody know where you are and how to get to you. But that healing session alone just transformed me.
Wow.
Goddess Lakshmi showed up, and then a few days after that, Metatron was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then there's so many things. I discovered that I'm a star seed.
Mm.
And there's, I have a whole group of beings called the Enlightened Council that evidently not evidently, but I was told my higher self is the fifth member,
There we go.
and I'm still processing that stuff. Things like that. These amazing things have happened because of Ahai 70. And so I really want the listeners and our viewers to to understand how a high 70 is different from other modalities of energy healing like Reiki. Before a high 7D, I'm a certified crystal and sound healer. Um, I too have found that crystal and sound healing only hit a plateau for me at a certain level, especially after Carrie's death. And then this 7D healing is like, whoa, right? So can we share with our listeners and our viewers um, the difference with Ahai 7D?
Yeah. Yeah. So the way that Ahai works is it's really just at a higher frequency. So the seventh dimension is the base frequency. And so if you think about Reiki, that's working more on the third dimension. There's a modality called Rahani, that's in the fifth dimension. And Ahai is based in the seventh dimension. Frequency of miracles, this is home of the Akashic records. So we're really getting right into the soul. And then what I love about Ahai is it, like the way they call it, the way they phrase it is it upgrades itself, which I've very much experienced, and I'm sure you probably have too, where like it'll kind of, as you continue to raise your vibration as a healer and open yourself up, it'll almost like upgrade you. So I'll have initiations into higher dimensions, and more continues to open up. And what I like about that is I never feel blocked with the abilities. They continue to expand and become more potent. So when it's a higher frequency energy, it works faster. So my sessions are shorter. I can move through a lot more in the same amount of time, where the sessions can just be shorter in themselves. And it is a lot just more potent, like it's just stronger, right? So a lot of people will feel the difference. And I've had a number of clients who will, I like to hear how people describe it differently, how they perceive it. And Reiki can feel a little bit, because it's just a different vibration, right? It's just a different frequency. It's kind of like when you listen to different frequencies of sound, one might sound higher pitched and the other will sound like lower, right?
Deeper
It's just
pitch,
a
yes.
different frequency. So the Ahai, for many people, it can feel, it's almost like the best analogy I have is a dog whistle, right? Where it's like, you know how if you're somebody that can hear it, it's like so high pitched, but it's also quiet. It's like this weird thing. Yeah. Yeah. So the higher your frequency is, like you'll hear that, right? Like, so it's the same thing with Ahai, where people who have been doing a lot of energy work, they tend to really soak this up and it works really well, right? I'll have people say that or Reiki feels a little bit almost like a thicker vibration, and then the
It
Ahai will
definitely
feel
is. It's in To me, it's just more intense. There's
yeah.
not intense in like a bad way. It's just, you maybe because I plateaued in other modalities, but once I had that healing session, I definitely felt that I was tingling everywhere, and I was tingling for days after, and so it definitely is a more intense energy.
Yeah, it's
Now,
more
would you
potent.
say that everyone would be able to benefit or be able to hold or receive this higher frequency of energy healing, or
Yeah. So the energy will adjust to where the person's at, right? So it's going to calibrate to your needs, and your practitioner will, set that intention.
Mhm.
The thing is that with holding the vibration, like with any type of energy work, right? And you could see this in any type of modality. And I'll just be clear, like, anyone who knows me, I love to try different energy healing modalities. And I think there's value in all of it. And I think that different things hit different, and they hit different things, and different healers hit different things. And I think there's beauty in all of it. Right.
Mhm.
So, I think that's important to say, but with the Ahai, it'll calibrate to what you need. But in terms of holding a vibration, and this is true with any type of modality, like if you go back to living your life the way you were before, and you don't actually make any tangible changes, your energy can get imbalanced again, so
Right.
it's not like
And that's really with
just,
with
yeah,
all,
it's with
right?
anything you do, right?
Mhm.
So if you're just trying to use any energy healing as a quick fix, you're missing the point, right? It's meant to help
Right.
us get to some of these deeper things and make these bigger shifts, and move forward a bit differently, right? And the more you do energy work, that term, I think people think it's just Ahai or Reiki or breath work. And it goes far beyond that. I mean,
It
we're
does.
doing energy work when we, write a letter to someone we love and we're crying, when we're feeling, when we're dancing, that's energy work. That's all moving energy, right? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this isn't just, if you have hands-on energy healing, it goes far beyond that. We're moving energy when we talk to each other, right? When we're exchanging energy. But the more you work, the more you do energy work, right? And you clear out everything that's holding you down because you're naturally high vibrational. You are so high frequency naturally. It's just, what are all these things that are pulling me down? All my doubt, my fear, the judgment I might have of myself, right? Like all of these things, these limiting beliefs, those all pull our frequency down, and we start to shift some of those, right? Our frequency rises, not back up to where it naturally is at. And the more you do that, the more you'll be able to hold the energy, if that makes sense. It's almost like you are creating energetic space. So the way I view it is, I pretty much view the world based on how I see things energetically. And if I'm looking at an energy body and they have all these lower frequency, they look like energy knots to me, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
only
Mm-hmm.
so much that the body can hold, right? And the more we
Right.
start to energetically massage those knots out and create space, now the body is starting to like hold on to this
Hold on.
frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the process. And the more you do energy work, which could be you're journaling every day, you're reflecting every day, right? You can move energy that way. The more you're doing that type of personal development work, really, in whatever capacity resonates with you, you're going to be able to hold these higher vibrations more easily.
Now, one of the things that I know Ahai 7D has helped me with, and you briefly mentioned the Akashic Records,
Mm-hmm.
is manifesting. Now, I
Yeah.
am a law of attraction and life coach. I'm all about, as a matter of fact, in the intro, I say that, I help people heal and align mind, body, and soul so they can consciously create their most incredible life. That's all about it. And it's not just a law of attraction. We have 12 universal laws, but everyone's focused on that. That is what's going to bring it in. A high 7D. Uh, what's the word? I don't want to say Speedy Gonzalez. It's faster than that. It's like,
Yeah.
so let me tell you, in the deepest of the deep in depression I was in February. And in May, no, end of April, I said yes to this podcast opportunity. And I also said yes to the mentorship program. Simultaneously, we got these things going on. And I'm looking around and I'm still grieving and I'm still on this healing journey. But now the things I set intention for in 2018 for the sacred path for my business, I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? A high 7D just sped up my manifestations. So how can you talk about that and how a high 7D has helped you with your manifestations?
Oh, totally. I it's funny because I didn't really realize how quickly I manifest until people were pointing it out to me. They're like, "You're really good at this. Like, how do you do this?" And it was something that I didn't even realize until it was reflected back to me, and because the way I view manifestation is I'm not against any of this, but I don't really like, I'm not like, okay, I want this. This is my like 12-step thing I do. I'm more of I direct my attention and it comes to me. And how do I make that work? It's all of this underlying energy work. So in general,
Mm-hmm.
I focus on doing energy healing consistently to clear my energy body so that I can simply shift my focus and then attract what I desire to me. But with Ahai, it just was like, I mean, man, I was like, this is the ultimate life hack, honestly. So there are a few
You ain't
different
never
ways.
lied.
Yeah, there are a few different ways you can, with this energy specifically, that the guides are showing me. And one is basically aligning, because you're doing frequency work on the energy body, right? So
Mm,
everything that we want is a certain vibration. That's really what we're trying to call in, right? So classic manifestation talk, right? People will
yeah.
say, whatever you want, be that what you want to attract it,
Right.
right? So
Right.
be a vibrational match for it. So literally, like if we can attune our frequency through Ahai, so you can calibrate your energy body to be the frequency that is matching that which you desire. I mean, you're literally a frequency match right then and there, right? So
Yes.
that is super powerful. also working in the Akashic records, aligning yourself with your highest timeline, aligning yourself with the timeline that will, get you where you want to go. And you can energetically calibrate yourself to that. Infusing your energy body with those frequencies. And we can also get to the root of, what's not allowing me to bring this in, right? Because if I'm not attracting it in,
That's the
what are the
stuff I love
blocks?
right there. I'm a
Yeah.
Scorpio. We
Yeah.
go deep.
There we go. Yeah.
So, it's so interesting because after level 1 certification, that's all I wanted to do was just hang out with Metatron
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, help me with this."
Me too.
Stuff I've learned has been like, "What? Oh my goodness." Like just the past lives and things that needed to be healed from past lives and then like you said, aligning with that version of ourselves that we set intention for. You
Mhm.
know, you said to me, and every time we see each other, and eventually we will see each other in person, but
Yes.
every time we see each other, I always throw this out there, or post or whatever. You said to me, "I'm so excited for you. Get ready for the magic." The first time you said that in a message to me, and responding to a message, you said, "Get ready for the magic," and I believed you. It's just something about the energy of what you said. Girl, you wasn't bullshitting. I'm telling you. Now let's talk about this. And I know we have a few minutes left, but I do want to talk about um in the life of an energy healer. Let me ask you. I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask you, your experience. Is it all roses?
No, definitely not.
Is it all like, oh yes, oh, something's wrong, boom, it's gone?
No, it's definitely not, to do this type of work like authentically and truly, because people can call themselves spiritual. That doesn't mean anything. Like you can call yourself whatever you want, right? But are you doing the work? And you can tell the difference, right? You can tell the difference. And for me, and this came up in the training when, people are asking, how do I become a more powerful energy healer? And I think that this is something that people don't talk about enough. And my honest opinion and experience is, the deeper I go into the depths of me and I do the really hard work, like that is what makes me a better
That's the
healer.
key. Yeah.
Right. I have to go in there and I have to look at the dark stuff and I have to be very aware of my shadow and get in there. And it's intense. And, I had in this journey to like this path I'm on, I had the support of many amazing mentors and people who have been doing this for a long time. And I had multiple moments where I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. It's so intense. Like it is so intense. And I had people, I had mentors who would tell me, who had been channels for 50 years, be like, I know how it feels, and I'm just going to tell you, if this is the path you're going to walk, this is what you have, this is what it
This
is.
is
Like
yeah.
this is what it is. And this is why not everybody does it, because not everybody is willing to go to those depths. And I had to really sit with that. It took me a while. I was like, is this what I want to commit to? Because it's hard. It's
It
hard. And
certainly is.
yeah.
Trust me,
And
I know.
yeah, I know, right? And
Yeah.
but this is how I become a better healer, a better me. This is how I raise my vibration. Like there's stuff that people don't want to look at. And it's so important for me in my life. It's like, I need to stay in my truth. And my truth also includes some of the things that are uncomfortable for me to look at. Right. So it's really
Yeah.
feeling all of your emotions, and you go through intense stuff that initiate you into your next level, so it's definitely not all rainbows and sunshine, but I have the tools to move through it. And sometimes certain things are easier than others. But, I think for me, it's sort of like in my day-to-day life, I don't really get triggered by the things other people do. I don't get upset about a lot of the things that other people might. So in that sense, it's a lot like happier and high vibe. But at the same time, there are bigger things that I'm going to the depths to that other people, many people might not ever experience or
Mm-hmm.
let themselves go all the way into, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, such as the
Yes.
the path of a healer. And if you're listening to this podcast, you've for sure been through some dark stuff, you know,
Yes.
so it can get heavy, but it's kind of like, you know, the deeper you go into the depths, the higher you catapult into the light.
It
So
is that knowing. I understand. I'm living it as we
mhm.
speak. It isn't easy, but it is the path of a spiritual healer, a light worker, um, and being willing, like you said, to go deep and to do that work. And I think those who are either afraid to face that shadow or they don't want to go deep, that is what's blocking,
Yeah.
them. So I there's so much I want to talk to you about, but what I want to do is invite you back,
I would love to
and
come
we're
back.
going to talk what and I'll tell you what led me to you. I wanted Christina on today to introduce you. You guys have been hearing me talk about Christina the Channel, Christina Rice, Christina Rice. Here is this beautiful, beautiful being right here, angel, earth angel that she is.
Oh,
I have to say, in the few minutes we have left, here's the thank fest. You ready? Thank you, Christina. Thank you for coming into my life. Thank you for creating this program that has helped me so much, so much. Because of Ahai 7D, um, I have a beautiful continued connection with my son. He lets me know that he's with me. Carrie let me know that he was here. Like Ahai 7D has opened me up to has upgraded my spiritual gifts, has opened me up to my manifestations, and has um, has made me remember that I am a goddess. I'm a spiritual being. And that this is what I am meant to do. And so I just want to thank you. There's the thank fest.
oh my
There's the thank
gosh.
fest right there. I love you so much. And, I cannot wait to see you in person to let you know how much you have changed and Ahai 7D has changed my life.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I'm literally gonna sob after this.
But it means so much because I don't know where I would be
Mm,
if I didn't follow this path. And n- and I'm no matter what I go through now, I know that I have this. I know that I have, and I can't wait. Um, as a new certified Ahai 7D practitioner, I can't wait to see where this journey leads. I already know it's going to be amazing and beautiful, um, and so thank you so much.
oh my gosh. Thank you. No, seriously, I'm so grateful for you for having me on, and I'm so grateful that, you know, we connected and that you were led to a high, and this is like filling me up. I mean, this is why I do what I do. Hearing something like that, I mean, that's it. I'm so grateful for you, and every time I talk to you, it's like you light up the world, girl.
Oh,
I just love you so much. So thank you,
love
truly.
reflected, and thank you so much. So tell our viewers and our listeners, what do you have going on, and where can we follow your work?
Yes. Well, I would love to connect with you more. You can find me everywhere at Christina the Channel. So on Instagram, it's at Christina the Channel, youtube.com/Christina the Channel. My podcast is Christina the Channel Podcast on Apple Podcasts,
It's
Spotify.
bomb too. I love listening to her.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah. And then my website is christinathechannel.com. And that is where you can find out all the information if you're curious more about Ahai or any of my other offerings, my channel collective membership. So all of the information is there on my website. And yeah, I'm just so grateful for this opportunity and to connect with all of you. And thank you so much, TLotus. You're the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, my powerful manifestors, for listening in. Next episode, we're going to dive even more into Ahai 7D as I launch the Mind, Body, Soul 7D Intuitive Healing Program with TLotus. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day and an amazing week ahead. Peace, love, and light. Thanks for listening to Triple L, the Live, Love, Lotus Show. This podcast is produced by The Sacred Path as part of the Cornelia Stephanie Media Group and is supported by our amazing listeners. If you would like to support this channel, check out the links in the description below for ways that you can pledge a love gift of any kind. Your love gift will help keep these episodes coming with more positivity to your device. Deep gratitude for your support, and until next time, I'm TLotus. Peace, love, and light.